There are a lot of legends out there. Some are complete lies and falsehoods, while others, no matter how strange or unbelievable, are true. Then there are the ones that defy proof. No matter how much searching has been done, there's just no way to definitively say one way or the other. It's up to you to decide. I didn't get to go to arcades a lot as a kid because, well, we lived in the boonies. But I'll never forget the line of kids waiting their chance to get in on Mortal Kombat. Yeah. Now, I had only played the game a couple of times, but I was hooked, man. And when I first got a copy on SNES, I played it for days. I think the mass appeal was the action, blood, and fatalities. Alright, let's not beat around the bush here. This was hitting its target demographic of teenage boys square on the nose. And although I thought it paled in gameplay to Street Fighter, it far surpassed it in its general coolness. Then Mortal Kombat 2 came out and built on its predecessor's success with a bigger roster of fighters, but more importantly, a whole bunch more fatalities, including babalities and friendships, which people really didn't care about. But part of the fun of Mortal Kombat 1 and 2 was its mystique. I had heard rumors of Reptile before he was a playable character in MK2, and everyone seemed to know about Smoke, even if they didn't know how to get to him. I only had the Super Nintendo, but I had read in a gaming magazine about how the Sega Genesis version of the game had a whole lot more unlockables, including an entire secret menu and a frugality. Yeah, okay, so let's talk about that. The frugality was basically a finishing move that would transform the opponent into probe employee Fergus McGovern. I don't know why. He apparently worked on the port of the game. It could only be performed in the armory with Raiden on the Sega Genesis version. Very strange stuff. But with all of these fatalities, babalities, friendships, and the fergalities, there's also one that I heard of that wasn't true at all, the Nudality. Yeah, basically the story went, there was some way to strip off all of the clothes of a fighter during the finishing part. Now I was only interested in doing this to Katana and Melina, seriously, but unfortunately it wasn't real. Or was it? In 1994, brothers Daniel and Carlos Pesina left Midway after a dispute over royalties. They not only worked on Mortal Kombat, they were some of the main actors. Carlos is probably best known as the actor who plays Raiden in the early Mortal Kombat games. The brothers Pesina jumped ship to Data East, who was looking into making a versus game to compete with Mortal Kombat. That game was called Tattoo Assassins, or should I say, was going to be called Tattoo Assassins. It was never actually officially released, although some early versions were tested in arcades. The game was apparently so close to being finished that even Electronic Gaming Monthly posted an in-depth article with moves and information about all of the characters. Most importantly, the full list of 2,196 finishing moves. 2,196 finishing moves, including, get this, the Nudality. Of course, it wasn't officially called that because that name is stupid, but a few of the finishing moves did involve nudity, although the characters cover up all of the good parts. But still, there is speculation that the rumors about nudity in the Mortal Kombat games is what led Data East to run with it in their fighting game, but I believe it's the other way around. I think some early versions and info about Tattoo Assassins led to some confusion and is actually the source of the rumors. But what the hell do I know? Oddly enough, and I would be remiss if I didn't bring this interesting tidbit to life, apparently somehow screenwriter Bob Gale, best known as one of the main culprits behind the awesome Back to the Future movies, was part of the project. There's also a nice little reference to that with the finishing move in the game involving a DeLorean being dropped on your opponent. Subtle.